Whiskers loved his cozy coat, especially the shiny buttons, but one sunny morning, he noticed something was missing. A big round button, usually sewn tightly to his sleeve, was gone. Whiskers felt a little sad and a lot curious. Where could it be? He wondered, tapping his chin. He knew he needed to be a super detective to find it. First, he put on his special detective hat and grabbed his trusty magnifying glass. Time to look for clues. He started by carefully examining the spot where the button used to be. He looked very, very closely. "Aha," he whispered, seeing a tiny loose thread hanging from the coat. This was his first clue. The thread was so small, almost invisible, but Whiskers knew every little detail mattered. He followed the direction the thread seemed to point, like a tiny blue arrow leading the way. The thread led him to the edge of the table. He leaned over, peeking down at the floor. On the floor, he saw something else, a faint, sparkly trail. Could it be glitter or tiny button dust? He knelt down, following the shimmering path. It twisted and turned, just like a secret treasure map. The trail led him under the big, comfy armchair in the living room. It was a bit dusty there. Whiskers had to wiggle a little to get under the chair, but he was determined. No hiding place was too small. Underneath, he found a small, dark shadow. He shone his magnifying glass on it to see better. It wasn't the button, but something else. A tiny, forgotten piece of yarn, the same color as his coat. This yarn must have been near my button, he thought. Perhaps it pulled the button off. He followed the yarn, which was now a bit unraveled, leading out from under the chair. The yarn led him towards the bookshelf, where all his storybooks lived. He rarely went behind there. He squeezed behind the books, feeling dusty but excited. What other clues would he find? And there it was, nestled gently between a big dictionary and a fairy tale book, was his missing button. He carefully picked it up, feeling happy and proud. His detective work had paid off. The button was perfectly safe, just waiting to be found. It had probably rolled there after the yarn tugged it loose. He carefully carried his treasure back to his coat, ready to put it back where it belonged. Whiskers gently placed the button back on his coat, imagining it sewn back on perfectly. He looked at his coat, now complete again, all because he followed tiny threads and sparkly trails. From a small loose thread to a shiny button, every little clue had helped him solve the mystery. He realized that even the smallest things can lead to big discoveries if you just pay attention. Whiskers smiled. He was a great detective, and his coat was now perfect once more. He learned that day that being patient and noticing small details can help solve any problem. And so Whiskers knew that paying attention to small details can solve big problems, making everything right again.